What's going on, guys? So today on this Shoky review, we're taking a look at another itty-bitty Transformer Committee member. And he's not that itty-bitty, because he's a big-ass dinosaur. And in this case, it is the Newage Legendary Heroes, number 44, Dinosaur Forces Commander Ymir. Ymir. Either way. Pretty cool. I just realized they had the fish right there. That's funny. So it's their version of Grimlock, and of course they give you this cool G1E Diaclone box. Looks pretty cool. I like the dinosaur forces. That's pretty cool. I wonder if with all of the other repaints that they've given us already of Grimlock, I wonder if they'll give us like a straight up Diaclone version. I know it's not too different from the original, but it would preclude some extra translucent pieces in different places. But either way, so you got some what I assume is Chinese written on there. Nice drawn image of Grimlock right there. It looks pretty good, actually. Except the arms are in a different position than I would assume. It's a weird thing. They don't really tell you where to put the arms. All right, so we come around here. Dinosaur forces. Grimlock, taller than everyone. I don't know if he's necessarily king. It's not just me. That's actually a very dark image. Come around to the back, and you have, holy crap. He's really big. Really big. Looking down upon Prime there. Wow. All right, so ages 15 plus. Hey, right in the middle of that. Box art by them. 22, made in China. Yay, I'm good for that. And then come up to that side of the box. It looks really cool. If you go to that side of the box, it looks pretty cool. And come around there, it's exactly the same, so whatever. There's nothing in the box. I've already taken everything out of the box, and I've already done an out the box for the members. So if you want to see my first experience playing around with it and discovering all its fun little secrets, by all means, go check out that if you become a member for a small monthly fee, just to help the channel grow. You know, get a lot of behind the scenes stuff. They get first look at quite a few things. You know, sometimes they'll get my first opinions, and then yeah, just whatever. You can get to see things like what all's coming for Double October. So either way, let's go. Also, a bit of a lie. There's no sword in there. And here we have our new Grimlock. Looking really, really good. Like, really, really good. It's a really, really beautiful version. And this would be what is known as the Toon version of Grimlock, because they have the toy version, the comic book version, the translucent version. I don't think there'll be a gold version. There's the shattered glass version, which I may or may not pick up. I already have those things, so I don't know if I'll bother. And this is effectively replacing the old DX9 version that was in that Legendary Heroes line. In case you don't know, that clearly Newage was a spin-off of DX9 to follow specifically in the Legends scale production of things. And yes, he looks fantastic. I think he's almost entirely painted, or they're doing that trick where the plastic is very well clear coated. I mean, it's obvious that, you know, the extra colors are definitely painted on. The tail looks painted, but it's also got like, it's definitely like a metallic finish to it. And then the gray looks pretty good. Some nice semi-gloss almost. Not even, it's really glossy, but not ridiculous. Obviously the toes are very much painted. I think those are die cast as well. And then there's two different levels of grays going on here. So I think that this is painted, that's not, or it's clear coated. The yellow appears to just have a clear coat over it, I think, but the toes are definitely painted. These arms don't feel painted. They actually look like raw plastic with maybe a clear coat, if anything. And the same thing up here. Red stripe is painted. And I did put on just a basic Repro Labels clear cartoon version of the Autobot logo over there on his bot chest. So this is one of the ones where you're not going to be able to hide this one. And I know most people want to put the big chest one right there that would split in half with the wings later. Unfortunately, you're going to be able to see both. And, you know, for me, I didn't do that. You know, and even so, like the original DX9 version of Grimlock, let me get them straight up and down, which is metallic painted, by the way. You know, You can see some significant differences in proportions. The beefier legs on the new one, the beefier head. It's actually far more cartoon accurate. I really thought this one was close. And guys, please excuse my sniffing. It is raging like allergy season right now, and the weather keeps changing. Apologies, I just can't keep my sinuses going right. And then let's see here. So you can see the legs are at a different height. He stands at a different angle. This one's more straight up and down. This one still slopes forward a bit. The arms are a big improvement, as these were just ball sockets. These actually have a rotation joint, pinned hinge joints, and then a movable hand. Although the only thing they're lacking is the ability to rotate in the middle of one of the arms, so that you could actually point the hand in a meaningful direction. So very close, but you missed a bit. Another important factor, big old screw hole in the neck. No screw holes at all in this neck, because it was mounted in a very different manner. Now you do get pins all over the place, but it's less obvious than screw holes, realistically. The other thing is, this one does have the slide out hands. This one has very well hidden hands. It's very clever how they actually make those hands work. And you can see here, difference in the tail. This one just kind of will flop open, but that's about it. This one actually waggles. They've engineered tail waggle, which is really impressive, if I'm honest with you. So, yeah. And then if you want to compare him to Big Daddy with the Studio 86 line, oops, I just totally bumped the wire. Obvious size difference is obvious, but they got closer to the design aspects. So this is meant to represent the one from the movie, i.e. the one from the cartoon. And, a lot of similarities in the design. They got the red, the green, the blue in the right spots. This is a little bit different here. And, just kind of going on. Obviously, the Hasbro version takes some liberties with the designs, adding a whole lot of new stuff and a lot of surface detail. But the head is actually still pretty close. I do believe this is probably the closest to an actual cartoon design. This might be more in line with the actual movie. But you can see here, obviously, with the chest design, he can do that because this one is much further down and hidden, because he's got a much bigger kind of thing before he gets to the bottom of the belly. So, it's a preference thing. I mean, you could always still do it and then just hope that nobody's paying attention to the other one, right? So for more proper size comparisons, here he is with the Newage 2.0 Bumblebee, which, seems actually pretty on point. Here he is with the DX9 original Optimus. I don't have David in bot mode right now, so I can't do that comparison, sadly, and its transformation is not worth my time at the moment. I really need to get a backup prime, honestly. And here he is with the Magic Square Ultra Magnus, because at least at the moment, I don't have the Newage version, because it's sold out everywhere. it's like kind of slept on that one, and now I can't get it. But I also not sure if that one's to scale properly. But I'm not averse to the Magic Square one. It actually looks pretty good in my opinion. And then a very poignant comparison: the Newage version of Devastator. So this is where scale gets to be a little wonky, obviously, because Dinobots were there for a heavy metal war, where we first got the Constructicons in battle, and it's not quite the same anymore. This is where that weird mass shifting thing, the size shifting thing happened. That's why I tend to use my MP combiners with my Legends, because I don't think they're big enough. It looks fine, but it doesn't look big enough. You know what I mean? Because these are meant, I mean, yes, this is a T-Rex, but that's a freaking, cement mixer. There should be a decent size difference there, but they have to make it work for certain things. Devastator is still one of the best things they've managed. I don't care if it parts forms. It's the best way to do combiners. Fight me. So he does have a gimmick or two and or an accessory or two that will work with this Dino Mode. And part of it is you can come up here and open the eyeballs up and rotate 180 and close it back down. And they've got red-eyed Grimlock. Also, it comes with the fish, because fish, put it in his face. He can sort of hold it. The little peg in there kind of keeps it from being super well held, but there it is. And then you can take the flamey effect, which I will talk about as though it hasn't been on screen later. This is how YouTube time travel works. And he has the peg in the mouth, and plug that on. And now you get flamethrower ability, which you can say that's what the red eyes are for, right? Right. So anyway, that's pretty much it. I guess you can technically store the gun on the back if you want to. He does have a peg hole right there. So I guess if you want to have the gun on the back, you can do so. I don't know of another purpose for that, if I'm honest. So I don't know. Not sure. I like the red eye option though, so you can get more of that other like toy look kind of. Alright guys, it's transforming time for Grimlock here, and I'm going to go ahead and prep the camera to come up because, well, he's going to get taller, but I also have to manipulate things here. So, via the instructions, you want to come back here first, and then go ahead and pull up on these parts here, and, well, don't squeeze them in because it actually gives you less room to work. But these toes will actually allow it to bend up quite a bit for clearance sake, so just do that. And then grab the legs here, pop that out there. It is an unsettling feeling pulling like that because but the plastic feels robust, so I don't think you're gonna have to worry about anything. Now we want to split the legs, kind of like just pull. Like there's enough wiggle room there that it will come apart effectively, even all the way down the tail, which I'm not used to that when it comes to Transformers. Usually it's like just fighting it essentially. All right, so we'll start on this leg so we can see on the inside here, and you bend here, grab the tail, bring it in as well up to roughly a 90-degree angle, and then we're going to rotate inside the leg mount here. Come on, turn. The knee wanted to move, not the leg. There we go. Okay, so what you're doing here is you're getting the knee/thigh up, and then you can straighten that out, and then you get the tail to come down into the middle of the leg. So you want to collapse that in, and you want to flip this sideways until it all tucks away inside the leg, all nice and neat. And then you take this part, slap it in, close it down, close up your toes, and there you have one leg essentially done. You straighten that out there. Now we'll do the other side. That initial bend there's a detent there. It feels awkward to push against, but you know, it's one of those times where you just got to do the thing. And on this side, I don't think there's a direction that's limited, so you can go this way, leg up, tail down, but over here you have the tip of the tail, so you want to fold that in, and then you can rotate this that way and tuck it away nice and neat inside, and then close. I like how the foot is there. And yes, I do know that Newage said, hey, we heard you, we're going to make some fillers for this. Not entirely certain how they're going to do that and where they're going to hide it if they do. The only thing they'll have to do is probably add it to another pivot point to, like, you know, get the actual plate out of the way so that you can make all this maneuverability happen, because it would have to go somewhere in Dino Mode 2, and the only place that would be to close up the same hole, but you still need access to all the pegs and stuff. So we'll see what happens. They haven't done it yet. And virtually all of the versions of Grimlock are out right now, so you can't really do a whole lot now. Okay, so this is where you run into Totem Pole version here. So he's Totem Grimlock. He's like, whoa, you know, he's a T-Rex totem. All right, so unlike other versions where you want to grab the head and pull back and then it'll unlock the chest, it's actually the chest that's holding the head in place. But something you can do, I think, I might be talking out of my butt. Nope, okay, you can't do it. If you watch the Taro video where I transform him back to Dino Mode, you'll see that I had a little bit of an issue just trying to get this to go. Actually, that's the first time I've managed to do that without a tool. Normally, I'd have to get it a little bit and then use a spudger to get it open. So, and mind you, I've only transformed him like 3 times since I got him, so that's actually pretty effective. Oh, also, I don't think I realized these would move that much. Okay, so either way, now we got a short, stubby Grimlock. Go ahead and pull the dino head and the regular head back and out of the way. And then you want to pull up, like push down on these parts and pull up on the chest. And it slides up like so. Fix the dino head, fix the dino arms like so. And an important piece, like he comes mistransformed in the box. If you're a channel member, you'll see the out the box where I figure all this out. You actually push the hips forward on a very uncomfortable slider to now have his back and hips and everything lined up proper. Now for the Dyno Backpack here, you have a hole, you have a peg. You're just going to rock this down, keep the head up, and bring the dino head back. Peg that in there, like so. And then you can kind of figure out whatever you want to do with the wings, as it were. And I discovered that like it sits a little bit nicer if you put the dino head straight down. You don't have to, but I feel like it sits better. And then the instructions actually tell you to kind of just leave the arms down. But I think like, you know, he tends to want to have them up. But this is also a weird issue with this Dino mode. And it's that his arms need a rotation point mid-arm. Like, it's nice to have these extra elbows here, and I guess I didn't really talk about it in Dino mode, but like it rotates at the chest, but that doesn't give you the proper orientation ability for other things. Like, you can also adjust the hand, so you can turn the hand on that tiny ball joint, but you know, it's kind of up to you and to where you want his wings and or dino arms to end up. Like that. So you can have them up or you can have them down. I think it gives them a little bit more of a height advantage if you have them up. Okay, make sure that head is pushed all the way down. Now we got to do the arms. So let's do the arms. The arms, I think this is the best way I've ever seen to do the dino arms. I know it looks funny from the inside, but who's really ever looking at the inside? Usually you either have a flip out hand like on the Studio series, or you have a slide out hand like you have on the DX9. I'm thumbing the directions where they're sitting currently. So what you do here is you split this open, and there's a couple tabs inside there, and there's the big old L, and they'll go into corresponding slots here. Also, when you get him out of the box, he won't have hands on, and this will be mistransformed. It will actually be sitting like this as though the hand was on. For Dino mode, you have to have it out like this so you can utilize that tab into that slot. So here, turn the hand out, rotate the hand 180, grab this whole section, and rotate it 180, and then make sure you're lined up good, and then just close those back, and now it's an arm, not a leg. That's crazy. So it's so funny, the difference here. All it comes down to is the fact that one side of this is slanted and the other side is, well, different. So you open it up, and it's the fact that it's closing on an area that has no resistance that makes it actually pop out and show the hand, or make the arm shrink. Like, that is a super clever way to do that, because otherwise you end up with a funny looking foot where things don't want to sit right, or you have to have a permanent dinosaur foot on his hand. Something, you know. And then the toes, you can get them out of the way as much as you want, essentially. You know, you can pull them back and push forward. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. All right. And now is the point where I stop to transform everything else into other Grimlocks, into bot mode for comparison. So I'll be right back. All right. So for the comparison, let's bring in our previous friend here. with the DX9 version. Now, mind you, I do have the toy stickers on here just because I'd always planned to get another one and just keep it plain. Unfortunately, I never did, but now that I have this one, I don't have to. So you can see there's a big size difference now between the original DX9 and the Newage. I mean, the DX9 only comes up to the top of his chest, so he's a full head taller. I mean, the legs are longer. I like these more proportionate thighs. You know, these are a little bit stubby with a whole lot of foot and shin action. Over there, it's a little bit more balanced. I will say his arms seem smarter. Like, it's just, you know, this actual size seems to make a little bit more sense. This seems just a little bit too long. It's almost like it just needs to stop kind of here where the toes are. So like actually adding the hands does make it a little weirder. And they have, I think, the same 3mm peg holes. I need to find his accessories. They might actually be in the box. Because I kind of want to use his rifle with this one and his sword with this one, because the actual rifle, which would be good to have for an accessory here, I'm just not keen on it. It looks weird, even for a Toon thing. And then for the other side, we have, of course, the other one, Studio Series. And of course, the size was not going to be the comparison. The details are the comparison. So, you know, I think that, you know, they kind of made it, but obviously Hasbro doesn't know how to not do square hips realistically. So that's always going to look a little strange. And he has much more boxy chest here, but the long arms also are part of it. You know, this was the easiest way to possibly do it, with just flipping the hands into the arm. I think this was a very clever way to do it so that it looks good in either mode, and in fact in robot mode cleans up super well. Although the irony being that Hasbro, of all people, figured out how to make the tail and everything disappear into the leg without a huge gap on this one, and cleanly. But that's something that even the original DX9 didn't do, you know. I mean, it looks okay, don't get me wrong. It's just that you have to get the tail all up in here. And also, these plastics don't feel that great over time. And also, this translucent broke a long time ago. I didn't do anything to it. It just broke while it was sitting, unfortunately. And also, this one never had a good spot to put an Autobot logo on his chest. So that's why I put it up there. So it is what it is. And I guess actually on this one, I could have put the chest logo. I actually have that on the sticker sheet still. Like, I could have done it, never did. But now I might as well, right? Because this is going to be my true representation as it is. So more size comparisons as we go. There he is next to the DX9 Prime, which we know is a little bit shorter than the current Newage one. And once again, sorry, don't have them out. I'll do a comparison at a later date, I suppose. And then next to the Magic Square Ultra Magnus, because I don't have the Newage version. Grimlock, so far from what I've seen, is the tallest singular transformer, according to Newage. So he's taller than Ultra Magnus, although similar in size. You know, this Magnus is smaller than the actual Newage one. And then with our tiniest Autobot so far, with, you know, Bumblebee. And I think that's fairly accurate. You know, the Dinobot size was somewhat inconsistent over time. Like, sometimes they look like they towered over them. Sometimes they look like they're the same size. It's a freaking problem with the way that Sunbow did everything in the first place. Now, speaking of the accessories, here's his little twin burster rifle thing. And you could tell they didn't try too hard for the details. And I think that was on purpose. I think they just really wanted it to look more cartoony and simple. But I think it's actually not the better for it. I kind of want one looks a bit nicer. And actually, oh, cool. You could totally split it in half. Nice. So, because I don't have the DX9 one handy, here it is with the Hasbro version. You can tell what happens when they actually give it some detail work. But the details are essentially there. They're just, like, lacking finer details. And once again, they put the peg way at the back, which is always good because you need that hand clearance to make sure you miss the dino claws. But you can hold it very nicely with that cute little peg there. And he does, of course, have expressive hands as well. I feel like all they did was just upscale the ones that they already had with the fist and the expressive hands and then the solid hands, because we've been seeing those almost exact style hands repeatedly from who got it first? I think the first one to get it was Ironhide and Ratchet. And we've gotten a few times, even in Galvatron. So he comes with the fish, because every Grimlock has to have a fish, I guess. But at least this one's painted. Yay. Can't hold it or anything. I mean, you can and put it in his mouth in Dino Mode, which you'll see in pictures that I posted. And then, of course, he comes with the Flaming Cheeto Dildo. With the McTwist going on. I really wish that this had been just an actual sword, because this comes off. And by the way, I forgot about this in Dino Mode. If you saw this in Dino Mode earlier in the review, know that I filmed that after this segment, so time travel. But he comes with the base of the sword, which means you can have a sword to plug on there. And I forget which version of it is. It might be the comic version. Comes with the full sword and no flame effect. So it can be a thing. And I just, Newage has done effect parts before that were fine. This, I think, is lacking. Even with the cool fade job, it doesn't look like fire. It looks like a Cheeto that's also maybe a sucker of some sort, or something that you use to have fun with. So that's my least favorite. Plus, it's really tip heavy because all that mass down at the end. So either way. But as it goes, this Grimlock is actually really good. And let's check out Articulation, because I forgot about it. All right, so ball joint, mounted head. Let you do all the fun stuff. Actually, let's just come up here. I'm going to brighten this up just a hair so I can see. And we'll zoom in on the body. Sorry. So the head can move around just on ball joint. Yippee-doo. He does have a universal shoulder joint here, so he can swivel around there. It barely has clearance behind the wing there, by the way. You can come all the way up till you run into things. You can go all the way back. You can clearance it just a bit. No big deal. Does have elbow rotation. I'm not necessarily going to call that bicep. And of course, single jointed elbow, good for a bit of a run there. You should know how that goes. I would kind of wish it actually had an elbow up here too. I figured that would actually be pretty awesome. And I don't know, maybe it does. Because there's a pin joint right here, but that might just be holding it together. Because it would be interesting if there was an elbow joint hidden, but I'm fairly certain there isn't. Or if that was a slide. Son of a bitch. That's a slide joint. They did it to me again, guys. That's not the first time they've done this. So you can actually elongate the arms. Damn it, Newage. Pull that out. And there's no pin there. There's no... So you can get more length on the arms. Not that you needed it. Wow. Once again, I think these are things that are in the instructions that aren't clear. He does have an ab crunch, which is good. Very nice for posing. Rotation at the waist. You get front and rear skirty skirts. So that actually means that you could hide the knee in Dino Mode. All right, I'll check it out. Good hips here, except for the fact that they have a screw completely exposed on this one. They probably forgot to do a left and right, and they just did it. Well, maybe they didn't forget. Maybe they did it on purpose. You can do a perfect Jean-Claude. No problem. He can kick forward until his thigh hits. Kick back like that. And then go way back here. And let's just... Okay, so that's as far as that goes. It's hitting right here, so that's fine. Thigh rotation, and then the toes. Usually Newage has good about toes. So we got a big old flip-flop for the ankle. And it can tilt up, realistically, for toes. But that's actually good, because you get this whole thing. Plus, you can hinge this down to get a little bit more of a lean forward, kind of. Like that. You know, or if you're going to bend the knee, you can do that number. And then, let's see here, hip, knee, foot. So the toe won't look any different, but you can actually fake. Be useful if you can see what I'm doing. You can kind of fake a step up, and he'll actually have support under him. So that's good. I can't believe I didn't realize that that arm would slide out more. It sucks that there's not another elbow involved, but maybe it's meant to go in bot mode. So that's all the way in. That would actually make it look a little bit cleaner. Maybe I have it backwards. Maybe extended is for Dino Mode and compressed is for bot mode. That actually makes a bit more sense. It makes it look a little cleaner. I bet it's supposed to be like that, even though that's counterintuitive. Let's consult the instructions. Yeah, right there in the very fine ink. Shove that up into the body. So yeah, he was supposed to have stubbier arms. I complained earlier about the arms being too long, and now I discover that's my fault. I wasn't paying attention. Does it click into place? Oh, it does. Okay. I'll try one more thing. It feels like... I mean, believe me, it's kind of terrifying to be doing this, you know. Because you want to find a good spot to push. Oh yeah, that looks so much better, guys. I'm sorry. Now I have to take new thumbnail pictures for that. Also, it didn't occur to me initially at all that these wings had a good hinge in there so you could get them up and out of the way a bit better. But, I figured it out in this review. So either way, fantastic new version of Grimlock, and it comes in so many different flavors, because even later editions, like the Shattered Glass version, this chest piece is replaced with a different one. In toy version, it's translucent. I think in the comic version, it's also translucent. So it's pretty cool. Ah, dang it. I forgot to show off the other gimmick in Dino Mode. I'll go back once again and film that. So if you see the gimmick in Dino Mode that I forgot to point out when he's in Dino Mode, know that was time travel and I'm leaving my mistake here at the end. But either way, he's really good. He is expensive, though. He's over $100. $100 to $115. That's a lot for a figure of this size. I mean, this giant Grimlock back here was what? 70, 80. So, it's a difference in quality. I would argue that it's a difference in engineering, which is obvious, but is it $100 worth? I don't know. The Legends game is really running into MP money now. And even if you want to call them mini masterpieces, it's getting harder and harder to justify, if I'm honest with you. So either way, that's going to be it for this review, guys. If you like him, I got mine at the Chosen Prime. I think he'll be available at BBTS sometime soon. He may or may not be available at TF Source. It might be sold out as well. So just check it out if you want it. You can get it overseas as well, in Japan, and multiple sites. What was it? Showstore.z or whatever. Show Z Store. Had it for sure, but of course, in that case, you have to wait for overseas shipping, rather than just pick it up here in the U.S. if you want. If you live in the U.S., that is. So, either way, guys, that's going to be it for this Transformers review. I'll catch you on the next one. Remember, as always, keep on nerding.